A lot of us are home with extra time on our hands right now. If you're a farmer, there's really no such thing as extra time, but maybe there's a loved one in your life who's not working off the farm, who's helping you with projects. Such is the case for us here. My husband Ryan normally daylights as an acupuncturist, but his clinic is shut down due to what's happening with COVID, so he's able to help me with some projects around the farm. And something that we've been meaning to do is streamline more of our watering systems so we can get away from this, which is useful and large, but in the long run, it is plastic. It is gonna break down over the UV rays, and water gets trapped in here with all sorts of different dirt. It's not the best for the chicken's health. We love our automatic watering systems. So Ryan's gonna walk you through how we set up ours, which are really simple, quick, cost-effective, and I think pretty smart.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of different parts here, and I'm just going to walk you through all of them so that way you can build your own at home. What I'm using is a 20-gallon Rubbermaid trash can. They're heavy duty. You can get them at pretty much any hardware store.
Or if you just have them kicking around the yard, I mean, you might have some extras that...
You might have one laying around your house.
If you're not making as much trash now, going zero waste, maybe you have an extra can you can convert.
So what I did is... take the lid off so you can see inside. What I have here is a float valve set up so that way once this fills up it will turn off the float valve so there's no overflows. So I've just screw mounted this into the side. Then with the trash can I just drilled an 1 3/8 inch hole, 1 3/8 inch hole in the top so that way there'd be room for the hose to pass through.
And we're trying to keep down the mosquito population from having just an open lid.
Anywhere you don't really want to have open containers of water because it's going to be problematic either for mosquitoes or not safe for children or other animals, or you end up with leaf litter or other things ending up inside of your stock watering tank, which is then going to clog it up. So we don't want to do that. When I set this up, I just have to take it all the way off to put it back on, right?
It is handy to have a lid like this too if it is raining and you want to do some rainwater catchment. If you're being really water conscious where you are, you can take this lid off in the middle of a rainstorm and then just fill it up naturally so you're not using water from your groundwater.
That's right. And then I'm going to use some Gorilla brand duct tape because this stuff is extra super heavy duty, and just plug the rest of the hole so that way there's not a place for mosquito larvae to get in. So we're just going to keep that nice and tight. And then as we move down the system, you'll see down here I used a 2.5 inch hole saw to drill this out for to basically convert a trash can into a water tank. And then we've got threaded in a little barb that fits on a cut off piece of garden hose here. This is 3/8 inch garden hose, so I have a 3/8 inch nipple here for this to fit onto. Same thing here, threaded into a piece of, this is 1 inch PVC. So I have a slip 1 inch PVC that's PVC glued in, and then this is a 3/4 inch pipe thread that's threaded female, and then I have my male 3/4 inch male pipe thread wrapped and inserted into there. And then on the bottom you can see that there are these chicken nipples. So you can order chicken nipples online. They're hilariously named, but they do a good job. And so we just have them spaced about every 12 inches. And then I drove in a piece of concrete stake just to hold the other end in. So the ground's pretty soft, as you can see right now, so that's sufficient. And then I have a couple of zip ties, or you can use baling wire to secure the other end in place.
It's important when you mount the PVC and the nipples here that it's a little bit lower than the can level, or a little bit lower to be able to gravity feed down.
And then at the end of this system, you can see that there's just a 1 inch slip-on cap that's also PVC glued into place, so that way, you know, keeps the water from shooting out the other side. And I'm just feeding this through one of the little holes, if I can, and I can. And then I'm gonna zip tie this into place. And that is all there is to it. Now I'm gonna turn on the water and we'll let it go.
You can scale this up. For a lot of our flocks, we're using 55-gallon drums that we had gotten. If you have a lot of birds, because ideally you just want to be filling this once a week to keep down on your chore load. But you can also scale it down. If you just have a couple of birds, maybe you just want a 5-gallon bucket, but the same adapter and hose, this whole system will be the same. It's just a matter of how big you're making this vessel.
And once it starts to fill, then I usually like to just get the line started, because sometimes there'll be air trapped in here and you want to make sure that you get all the air out of the line, so that way when the chickens come, they're generally curious about this and they will start pecking at it. These are always brightly colored, so that inspires them to check it out. Now you can see the water starting to come. These chicken nipples that we ordered, they are drilled into the 1-inch PVC and then threaded in. So it comes with a little tap, so you can like cut the threads into the PVC. So you definitely need to make sure that it comes with that. And then we do a little bit of the Teflon tape on the end and thread it in, tighten it up, and that's all there is to it. Sometimes they'll drip a little bit at first. That can be...
That's what getting primed or just getting ready.
Yeah, you just have to check on it, make sure that you don't have a bad one. Occasionally there is a bad one that you have to, you know, flip it upside down, unthread it, put a new one in, or raise it above the system so that way the water drains back into your tank. So you don't have to drain the whole tank to do it. That's pretty much all there is to it.
Thanks for the tour.
Yep.